this video will kind of be long, so I'm trying to break it down per document, so maybe you can either flip through or they can be uploaded separately. But this is document D, so the Huns. Okay, I don't need to do that. It says excerpts from about an Asian tribe called the Huns from Roman history by the Roman historian, we're going to call him A.M., circa 380 CE. The Huns exceeded any definition of savagery. They had compact, sturdy limbs and thick necks. Although they have the shape of human beings, they are so wild in their way of life that they had no need for fire or pleasant-tasting foods, but eat the roots of uncultivated plants and the half-raw flesh of all sorts of animals. This they place between their thighs and the backs of their horses, and so warm it a little. Huns are never sheltered by buildings, but roam freely in the mountains and woods, learning from their earliest childhood to endure freezing cold, hunger, and thirst. Huns are not well adapted to battle on foot, but are almost glued to their horses, which are certainly hardy but also ugly. Like refugees, all without permanent settlements, homes, law, or a fixed way of life. They are always on the move with their wagons, in which they leave. Like unthinking animals, they are completely ignorant of the difference between right and wrong. Fired with an overwhelming desire for seizing property of others, these swift-moving and ungovernable people make their destructive way amid the pillage and slaughter of those who live around them. So I wrote scary, because that sounds terrifying. I wrote that they seem like really tough people. And I highlighted these portions because I reread it, and they are the definition of savagery. So I'm sure you're thinking like TikTok, savage, not that. Savage would be just like complete, like no laws, just raw. I feel like it's the best way to describe it. Like just, you do what you have to survive, right? They have compact, sturdy limbs, so maybe they're small but they're strong. They have no need for fire or pleasant-tasting food, so they're not trying to they're literally living for survival, but they don't need fire because they've adapted, it said, to the cold weather. It says they put the flesh of the animals between their thighs and the backs of their horses. Think about how that was their way of making coats and stuff then, would be from the animal skins. So Huns are never sheltered by buildings, but roam freely in the mountains. They're almost glued to their horses, and they're completely ignorant of the difference between right and wrong. They're ungovernable, and they pillage and slaughter those who live around them. I think that's speaks so highly of a set of people. Somebody I would not want to be against. If you've seen Night at the Museum, Attila the Hun, he would have been a Hun, right? Okay, so who is this guy? He's a historian. What words and phrases does he use to describe the Huns? So these are some of them that I just went over. Just crazy, right? What does Marcellinus mean when he describes the Hun as being glued to their horses? I think it means they relied on them. Obviously, they weren't glued physically, but they relied on them. They were part of them, essentially. They didn't battle on foot, so when they went through the motions, the horses were kind of part of who these people were as soldiers and fighters. What might a Roman historian like want to compare the Huns to unthinking animals? He said because he said they're savage, and animals don't think about right or wrong. They do what they have to survive. So when you see a lion attacking something, it's not worrying about that animal's feelings or its family's. It's thinking that it's prey and it's food, and that it's going to be able to survive because of it. How can you use this document to help explain the decline of the Roman Empire? Yeah, if these people are coming in, I think there's no other way to just be like, you're screwed. Especially that we saw that there's little army. They're killing the emperors. I think it speaks to itself. I would just say, if they invaded, right, which we know that they did based on the map, I would think Rome wouldn't stand a chance, right?